mean, Hype Williams, honestly, I'm going to say is the greatest music video director ever. Like what he's...
I'll never say anything bad about Hype. That's
Belly was literally a life-changing movie for me. When I saw the Jamaican, club scene with the dance hall and the DJing, I said, oh, I want to do that. Literally, like it was done so well and presented so beautifully that I said, oh, I want to DJ reggae clubs. And that's what I first started doing. And eventually I moved to New York. But it was like, I remember even when I interviewed Mr. Vegas, who like that song was playing in the, Sucky Ducky, I think was the name of the song. I told him, I said, that song and that scene like changed my life because it was done so well. And it was just...
It was artistic.
Right, but all his music videos are like this.
All of
them.
Like... Every single one.
Did he do Waterfalls? I think he did.
I don't
remember. Don't look at me.
Let me see. Biggest... Hype Williams.
I feel like he didn't.
He did Big Papa. He did Beyonce's Drunken Love, Kanye West Stronger, TLC No Scrubs, California Love, Missy Elliott's The Rain. Yeah, I don't think he did Waterfalls.
Yeah, I don't think he did Waterfalls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the way I feel like the way he captured women on film, especially black women and Latin women, just like with the skin tone and the lighting and whoever his director of photography is, but obviously he's like the final say. It just looks so beautiful.
And he had a certain style. Everything was very like montage, like everything kind of flowed into one another. The colors, he always had this certain color scheme that he used in all his videos. So you always knew a Hype Williams video.
Yeah, tell him why he used you. Well, is that exposing too much?
I think so.
Well, come on, this is Vlad TV. Let's hear it. Yeah. Let's hear it. You already put it out there. Well, why did he use it?
No, well, so Hype wanted to use me for the video because I guess, a lot of video girls would try to get with LL. I think a lot of video girls try to get with a lot of whatever video they did. And Hype knew me and he knew I wasn't like that. And so he was like, I know you're straight and you're not that type. He was like, so I need you to do this video. And I was like, cool. But that's why he contacted me, because he knew I just wasn't that video hoe. I just wanted to, I had a bigger plan, which was I'm trying to get like some leads, not just dance in the video, but leads in major videos so I can get my face out there, because I knew my bigger plan was to get into television and film.
Well, right, because after that, you did Dr. Dre's Been There, Done That. The tango scene.
I played his wife and the ghetto tango scene.
Yeah, I remember going through this, I'm like, oh, of course I've seen this video. Of course. I didn't realize that you were in all these videos I used to watch when I was younger.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Oh my God, that was so much fun. I mean, just the whole concept, and just having rehearsal with Dre for like 2 weeks to get that tango scene down.
2 weeks it took?
We had 2 weeks because he had a little bit of, it was a little hard for him to get that down. And, Fatima was our choreographer and Swoop, and they just, we had to work a lot to get that entire tango scene down. It just was fun. I mean, that was my first time in a helicopter. We were flying around and we're in this big match. It was this whole storyline. And then what I loved the most is at the end of the video, when he wakes up from the dream, I got to act. Because it was so important to me to not just be a video girl. And he wakes up with a dream and we're like in this household. I got the rollers in my head, the baby on my hip. Comedian Pierre was like, go get me some more goddamn shit. He's eating cereal out of a pot. And it was so much fun. And we just improvised that whole scene. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to act. So I love that KB, who was a director, she put that at the end.
Okay, so that was a very important song for Dre because he had left Death Row.
Yeah, and that was the first hit off his
and then he
new
dropped
album, Aftermath.
Aftermath Presents. That album did badly for Dre standards. Like it essentially was a flop, except for that song.
That song, yeah.
Because every other song really just didn't go anywhere. And this was like when Dre...
I never even heard the other songs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's when Dre was trying to abandon the whole gangster image.
Yeah.
And that was the theme of the song. Been there, done that. I'm not doing gangster stuff anymore.
Showing this lifestyle I'm living, the way I live,
Just to go right back to gangster rap on the Chronic. And that's when things took off again.
Oh, that was a huge album. I used to play that album like crazy.
I love that. That album changed music. But it's interesting. Like he tried to do the non-gangster thing, and it just did not work at all.
It didn't work. It didn't work.
At all.
But Been There, Done That was a hit.
It was a hit.
It was huge. Yeah.
It was a hit. Yeah, and it was a great song.
Yeah.
It was a great song. And then you played Cole's girlfriend, Rhonda and Martin.
I did.
Was that your first like real acting role?
My first real acting role was How to Be a Player.
Oh, okay.
I played Bill Bellamy's Jamaican girlfriend, Shantae, the one that's like smoking weed the whole movie.
Okay, that was around the same time.
It was around the
right?
same
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
I have to say, Martin was my first big TV role. I had not done anything, and I booked a guest star role on Martin. So that was, and it was like the biggest show at the time. Everybody watched Martin, so that was like super exciting.
So was that a recurring role or just a?
It was just one time, just
One
guest
time.
star. Yeah.
Okay, and then How to Be a Player. That was your first real movie role. Mm-hmm. How's that?
That was fun because, you know, I actually had went out for like 3 other roles for that film, and they just were like, nah, it's not a good fit. So then they just cast me as Shantae. Bill was always cool. So it was fun working with him. And the other girls were fun too, you know, and we had some, you know, greats in that film. It was Gilbert Gottfried and Bernie Mac. And I mean, it was like, you know, it was definitely a cool movie. It was a classic. Who didn't watch How to Be a Player?
Yeah.
Millions of times.
Yeah, I saw it.
You know, so it was cool to be a part of that.
Right. And I guess you were in Jackie Brown by Quentin Tarantino, but I guess your part got cut out.
It got cut out, kind of like somebody else I know, Quentin Tarantino movie. So you see if you go to the deleted scenes from Jackie Brown, you totally see my part. I was basically, you remember when Sam Jackson and Robert De Niro are doing the gun exchange?
Yeah.
And he's showing him this video he made of the girls, the chicks with guns, shooting the different types of guns. Well, I was Tammy Jo, and I shot the Mossberg 300 pump action shotgun. And we actually shot real guns in that. Like, it was like real guns we were shooting.
Your first major lead, though, was Take Back.
Yeah, major lead, in a film, absolutely.
Which is interesting because, not to put you, you know, your age on blast, but I think it's important that you were 46 years old. It took you, I mean, almost 30 years.
Well,
you know,
20
years.
My first acting role was in 96, so 96, 97. Or
96, 97. This was 2021.
Yeah.
25 years.
Right, to get my first lead role in a film.
I mean, that's such a huge amount of just focus because it's not like you're making a ton of money on all these other roles.
Yeah, it's just, you know, you're getting guest star. I mean, I did tons of guest star roles on TV shows. I was on Xena Warrior Princess. I was down in New Zealand shooting that.
Right.
I did soap operas. I was on Young the Restless and Days of Our Lives. But, you know, everything was just work to try to get to being 46 years old and a lead role in an action film. It's crazy, but...
I mean, were there times you were like, this just is not working out?
Oh my God, do you know how many times there was in my life where I was like, why am I doing this? Why? Like, it was just because with acting, it can be a lot of ups and downs. It could be, you could be working, and then all of a sudden you're not working at all. And those are the times you're just like, what am I doing? And I felt like that a lot. And there were times when I was just like, I'm giving this up. And I'll go and try to do something else. But then it just, you know, I'm passionate about it, so it'll always draw me back.
What would you do when you would leave acting?
Like my family had a business. They had accounting business. So I'd go work there. There was one point where I started doing massage therapy for car accidents, for like sports injuries. It was like medical massage.
Okay.
You know, I had to actually get a license, and, you know, it was crazy. But for people who got in car accidents, their insurance would cover medical massage for their back or their injuries, and that's what I did. And then I just went right back to acting. So, you know, it was a lot of times I felt that way. I'm glad I stuck with it, though.
Well, you guys met in 1997.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you knew each other.
No, it was 97.
It was 97? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do my research. Okay. On the feds, remember? So you guys met and you guys were friends for 19 years before you got married?
No, we
dated.
Yeah, we started with a bang, like early, like that's 28 years ago that we met.
Okay, so you met in 97, then you started dating
immediately.
Right. Yeah, we met in a club.
Yeah, we went in a club, and it was on from that point.
Yeah.
And we stayed friends, and we, it was we were just kind of casual for a long time until we kind of went different directions, and then later got back together. But we'd always been friends, and whenever we'd run into each other, our friend group, like I'd be with the fellas, she'd be with her girls, and they'd always go, "What's up with you two?" Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
Because there's
like,
always this chemistry and vibe that people felt.
Yeah, so, I had to learn the lesson. Like, we didn't put all kinds of rules on each other. We were just kind of kicking it, right? But it's the thing that makes me kick myself, because had I investigated what we could really become at that point, I would have never lost track. We were just on some good behavior shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, was one of you ready to get married, the other one wasn't, or what exactly was happening during all this time?
I don't think we were just
we were just taking it easy.
And we still were young. I wasn't ready to get married, not at that time.
Yeah.
But if I, like I said, like you said, if we had invested more time, I would have known this is the man I want to marry. But at that time I was still kind of young, and we were just, I was just getting my feet wet in the business.
Yeah, I was running around thinking I'm doing what guys are supposed to do, numbers and dealing with all kinds of different people, different women or whatever. But then all the while, it's like, man, when we get together, it was just like, it's on another level.
Yeah.
And I think, sometimes that it's wasted on youth. When I realized, going through the different failed relationships and what have you, and that when we would be in the proximity of each other, that was nothing like it. And there's a certain point I was on a set doing a movie, and I had a really bad reaction to some cold medicine, and I was convinced that I was going to die. And since I thought I was going to die, I ended up calling her to let her know that if I died, she was the one that got away. Like, you know what I mean? And
literally called me. I was like working out with my friend. I was like, what?
Like, I'm dying.
Yeah. So I professed everything, and then I wound up living. So
you gotta follow through now.
I'm glad he ended up living.
Yeah. So I was like, oh.
Said a lot.
So then we got together, and it was never really looked back.
Yeah.
All right. So then you guys got engaged?
No, we never got engaged.
No, because I read that you guys were engaged for 3 years.
You read everything. You believe everything. We never. It's like we was beyond that shit. We just knew we were
gonna be together.
Yeah.
We knew
because
we were
you guys
gonna get married.
had marriages already.
Yeah. But
you guys were both divorced, right?
So the fact is, we had marriages, but we were beyond those marriages. Just our chemistry. We were connected deeper than those marriages ever could get to. Yeah. And so it was like marriage. We know where this is it. And so we never even, it's funny because the whole thing about proposal or any of that stuff never even came up. It's just like we had a ceremony to make it legal, that nobody knew. But then we had the big wedding in Thailand. the big coming to America wedding in Thailand.
Right.
But it was also a timing thing too. Trying to plan a wedding when he's shooting a movie here or I'm on it's almost impossible. So when we both were in Never Back Down 3, which shot in Thailand that Sony did, we just got married immediately after we wrapped.